Hello. Welcome to another episode of Common Enemies. Today's guests are Noah Snyder and Dan Toomey, two fellow comedians in New York City. Noah is going to have a podcast coming out, and it's going to be called Soda and Movies. Dan works for MorningBrew. It's a lovely little time, and I told them I thought it would be a good... Actually, they brought it up. I'm not going to take credit for their idea. They thought it would be funny if they stood behind me for the episode. I did say it'd be funny if they played with my ears. But this episode, we talk about dudes hanging out as the thing we have in common, and I have them argue about which is worse, Massachusetts or Maryland. And they're getting a little bit too rough and tumble with the touching me. I don't love it, but anyways, enjoy the episode. I love you. I'll talk to you soon.
Bye, guys.
Hey, bye.
You guys ready?
I'm ready to go.
Tight.
Dude, I'm
ready to start spewing Riz all over the place.
Yeah.
Do you spew
Hey.
Riz?
I'm spewing Riz right now. It's
you
just
can
unspoken,
spew Riz, you can
so you can't
throw
even
Riz,
feel it.
you can throw Riz.
If there were
back.
ladies here, you'd be able to feel
Yeah.
it. The
Where did
Riz.
Riz-
They'd be feeling the Riz.
You can start now, Connor. As we're, no.
I feel something that feels like Riz, but I'm not sure it's what Noah
Mommy,
is.
what's Riz?
Of course you'd ask that, you pussy.
Oh, dude, we're talking this episode's about male friendship, and you come at me like that.
We're already risen out.
Are we in it?
Oh yeah, we're in it. We'll yeah, this will be it.
You don't have an intro to
Yeah,
the...
Connor, can we cut? Can we cut this?
See,
Connor, can we cut this?
you
This episode
guys,
sucks,
you guys are
dude.
doing this to attack me, but
Yeah.
I got a Christopher Nolan fucking switch here.
You
where-
sit like how I imagine Pete Holmes sits in his podcast.
Wow. Yeah. Tell me more about that. I'm just I'm like the big affable guy, but I'm also fucked up in the head.
Yeah,
That's
I have
what-
a lot of like secret violence inside of me, and it's gonna come out like
It's-
soon.
I'm going to be
a nut-
hosting JFL and slap a teenager.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to be doing.
You think he's got that in him, like a?
Oh yeah, just like so much secret violence inside of that.
but
guy.
so do we all have that a little bit, you know?
Some
Yeah.
more than others.
No, I don't know. Actually,
We're not going to talk about Pete Holmes. All
Let's
right?
not talk
Yeah,
about.
we
Pete
can't
Holmes.
talk-
I want to be...
like Pete
Yeah, I
Holmes.
like...
I do like
Yeah.
Pete Holmes.
We all like Pete
Yeah.
Holmes.
But I swear to God, if I hear him say Ram Dass one more time, I'm gonna put my head through
Ram
a wall.
We're going to talk about buddies.
Yeah, let's talk about.
We're going to talk
buddies.
about male friendship. Who was your first male friend, and what? I'm trying to look about like chronologically what male
First male
friendship looks
friend.
like throughout the
Jesus
years.
Christ.
I remember Mac Awalt in kindergarten.
Kindergarten.
Was my first male friend. I think his last name was.
Did
It
Awalt.
took you till kindergarten?
That's sad.
Oh yeah,
have a-
I was
what
not
were
a
you-
fun person to be around when I was a kid.
Well,
Just
what-
like some grumpy child.
What
I don't
were
know.
you-
I don't remember much before kindergarten. Also, any friends you had before kindergarten, they weren't friends. It was just other kids that your parents
Disagree.
made you hang around
Disagree.
with
Disagree.
because
Disagree.
they wanted to hang out with their parents.
This is coming from a guy who did not have a friend till 5 years old.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that doesn't count.
I don't
actually.
remember a lot
Noah was
before
the,
5
like,
years
the
old.
existential preschooler. He's like, we're not actually friends, guys. We're just here because our parents put us
No,
together.
this doesn't matter. All right, none of this.
Put down the
is-
bottle, bro. Put down the bottle and just talk
I
to
don't
me for a
think
second.
if you had a friend before kindergarten, they weren't your friend. It was just somebody that your parents like set you up on
So
a play
dumb.
date with.
I
So
disagree.
dumb.
so they
My-
could hang out with their parents. You think
Dumb.
your parents would put up hanging out with somebody that their 4-year-old wanted to hang around with because they had to hang out with that other person's
That doesn't
parent.
mean you're not friends with that.
Yeah,
kid.
I don't think. Yeah, you can have like people brought to you and end up being friends with them.
I don't think any friendship before 5 is like a because like what are you talking about?
But it could last till after. Like
I think it
could-
can last, but then you realize one day it's like, oh yeah, the only reason I know this guy is because my mom wanted to have wine with with that kid's mom. Actually, no.
Shut up.
I
How
did
about
have a
this?
friend. I did have a friend in preschool, Allie Jones.
No, you didn't.
That's
Yeah,
a
I
girl.
did.
On your
That's a
logic,
girl,
then
though.
no, you
yeah,
didn't.
That's not a-
she
that's
was a
not a
good
man.
friend of mine.
No, you
I
can't-
still know her.
but
Like
you
I'm still good.
no, but you can't- you-
Actually,
but
you
you
weren't
can't be friends
with
with
her
girls.
before 5.
What?
Okay,
before
yeah,
5.
then we weren't friends. I'm willing to die on that hill then,
That's
if this logic stands.
Why? Why are you? What makes you feel like that is like your like steadfast point you need to hold that you can't be friends with someone before you're 5?
'Cause I'm a man of my fucking word.
You
Okay? And you two
I
are
came on this
fickle.
podcast to argue.
Yeah,
And I'm gonna
yeah
hold
isn't
it-
that what this podcast is supposed to be about?
It's the second half. We're supposed to be bonding
Oh,
right
okay.
now,
Oh.
and you're ruining it.
Okay, and yeah, you were right. You were right. I can't talk about male-female friendship because it's about male friends.
Yeah, it's not
You-
about it's not about chicks right now, dude.
You guys are my male friends.
Yeah,
guys are my
And
male
that's it.
friends.
I have none other
Yeah.
than just you two.
I feel like I don't know. I feel like I mean I like my two best friends I was friends with from like 0. So
Okay.
I feel like that I hold.
Were you guys born around this? Because I know people who are like, I've known this person because we were born in the same hospital on the same day.
Yeah, no. I mean,
Yeah.
I have a friend. My two best friends are a year older than me and a month older than me.
Okay.
Wow. But you guys believe that when they say they were born in the same hospital on the same day?
I mean, my parents could be lying.
You're willing to buy into that myth? Of
I
that?
mean, if we have the same birthday, then yes.
I-
would your parent? Do you think their parents, your friends' parents, are lying about when they were born to them just to propagate that myth?
100%. I would
Okay.
believe that. My best friend growing up, we would always be like, oh, we knew each other like at age 0
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And while I also kind of agree with what you were saying
Yeah.
earlier, it's hard to like actually identify people as friends before age
Yeah.
5. Whenever he tells me that, I'm like, I feel like that couldn't have been true. You know,
Yeah.
it's not like we're hanging out. It's not
I
like we're
also,
kicking it.
even at a young age, I feel like I feel like at 4, you can tell when a kid is not fucking with another kid. Like where it's like,
Well, yeah, because they will say out loud, "I don't like you."
Yeah.
yeah, but
I was with my
on the opposite end, you can
Yeah.
be like, this kid fucking rules.
A kid fucking told me that once. I was in
that he doesn't like
kindergarten.
you.
Well, me and this other kid, Kaylin Lee Lermer. I'm friends with.
Wow,
now.
you're just name dropping left
Huge,
and right.
yeah. Kaylin Lee Lermer, huge piece of shit in kindergarten. But I know he's a good guy now. We used to joke about that. Like in kindergarten, he like threw blocks at me one time, and then he was like, "Come on," because we were both fighting over Mac's friendship.
Mhm.
He was like, "Come on, Mac, let's get away from this loser." And I fucking lost it.
Sounds like you totally have gotten over this completely.
Oh,
and it
no,
hasn't
I'm
left
not.
a
Also,
scarring
don't
impact
you
on
wish
you.
like your boys would fight for you like that?
What?
Like now? I mean,
like throw blocks. I have friends who've done that. I had a friend. We were at a bar one time. And,
like you don't get to talk to him. He's my friend, sort of thing.
Not like that, but I had a friend, this one guy, like, I'm not really like a punchy guy. Like, I'm like, I'll put like my hands on 2 guys just to be like, come on, guys, let's like settle down. I'm a good guy.
I mean, I'm not really a punchy guy. I don't really.
But like, I was at a bar with a friend in college, and he's one of those guys who's like, he rarely will start a fight, but like, if he sees something going on, he's like, yeah, I'll jump in that fight. And
Yeah.
like, this one guy like pushed me out of the way to get to the bar, and I pushed him back. And then my friend came in. And he goes, "Who's talking shit?" And I go, "This guy." And he goes, "I'll rip your ears off and feed them to you." And the guy's like, "All right, let's leave."
Yeah.
that's the friend who like will be that like I'll throw blocks at.
And
that is, I guess that is cool. Like
Yeah.
having a buddy, like, I mean, it's also like a hazard. It's a social hazard for sure.
Who having a buddy who will fight for you?
Yeah.
But that's like I feel
Yeah.
like that's like the peak male friendship is like you don't
Yeah.
really know them that well. Like I don't know who my like male friends are dating. I don't really know what they do for jobs, but I'm always like, hey man, can you help me move? And they're like, I would do any.
Oh,
Like,
that's because you're a bad person, and I
help
actually
you.
pay attention to my
That's
friends.
sick, man. That's awesome.
no,
You got to be more of a punchy guy. You know?
Yeah.
You got to be willing to throw it down.
No, I like that they're like every different guy can be any sort of different friend. Like you got a moving buddy sort
Yeah.
of friend. You got a guy who you can talk to. They're not always
Yeah.
the same.
Yeah, that's
Like
true.
I feel like there's a buddy who you can just like share space with easily.
I have like male friends that I hate, and it's Noah.
yeah.
Yeah, Noah sucks.
Top like easily. How many
Guys,
guys?
listen, I'm part of the club with you on that one. Not liking myself
Do you-
recently.
so what about? I'm trying to think like origins of male. What about your first like male friend
Kiss.
breakup?
Mm.
Oh, interesting. I don't think I've had any male friend breakups. I think it's just like
Come
fizzled out. You know what? Actually, no. I did have a moment where
Yeah, I've had fizzle outs.
I have 3 older siblings, and they're all.
You guys aren't big enough haters.
I gotta be a bigger
Well,
hater.
I could see you as like you have a very like dry, like tell it to you how it is, like personality. Like not like dry as in like I mean like dry, like you have a very dry sense of humor. Like you will tell somebody. I feel like you will look a baby in the face and be like, "Nah,
You're a
not
dumb
about
baby."
it," and like
Yeah,
keep walking. Which like I can imagine you as a kid. I imagine you as a kid as you are right now, still with the mustache.
It's more or less the same.
Like,
It's-
and that's why I love you so much because like you will look into the eyes of innocence and say no. Like
Well, because as a kid, I wasn't like, no, I was an asshole as a kid because I didn't know how to like develop like empathy yet and like maybe just figure out that, oh, maybe that feels bad for that person.
Yeah.
Now I recognize it, but if I do think it sucks enough, I'll still say it.
yeah.
But like,
so what's like an example of like a friend breakup that you've
well,
had?
I could imagine you like just being like, man, you just suck.
You just
like,
suck, dude.
Well,
You're bad,
Your
and I don't like it.
Your voice, he grows.
dude, literally, yeah, that
Really?
was, I mean, part of it for sure.
I imagine you as a child being like a bartender in an old timey bar with like armed garters on. That's what I picture you as a child.
You were the
being
Banshees of Inisherin.
Yeah, I imagine you as being a Banshee of Inisherin.
I just don't like you anymore.
I don't like you. I just don't like you.
You are
dull.
Brendan Gleeson. You are Brendan Gleeson in Banshees of Inisherin.
Where are you from?
Napa.
He's by way of New Zealand, so like he does have that in him.
I do have like a third Irish in me too.
Yeah,
it is like
well, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
That's,
The ginger mustache.
that was
gives it
apparent.
away.
Yeah, I could see you like.
I just don't like you.
I could see you walking around with like Brendan Gleeson and the Joker from the Batman. What's his fucking name? Keoghan, Barry Keoghan.
Okay, yeah. Fucking, but so as a kid, I would.
Forgot he's the Joker now.
Yeah, right.
It wasn't all the
I can't
time.
wait to
Like
see
I've
him,
always like. One of my favorite things in the world is like a fucking great friendship.
Yeah,
but
we have a great friendship.
We do. We have a young friendship, but I'm excited for it.
I don't know you. I know nothing about you. I just found that out about New Zealand. That's crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's one of my favorite. You got to see this picture of his dad that he showed me.
Really?
Just that I look like my dad?
You look like him, and his dad looks like one of those guys that you're like, that guy looks awesome.
Really?
No,
not to fucking suck your dad off, but like he showed me this picture of him with like this fucking.
Did we get that audio clip, by the way, of Noah saying that?
I'm gonna suck Matt's dad off.
Nice. All right,
leave it in.
You can't stop him.
Yeah.
This got 2 million views on Instagram Reels. How did that happen?
Yeah.
So your dad looks like, when I think of like badass New Zealanders, I either think of like the All Blacks or Steven Adams. Which one is he?
He's close.
Who's
I mean,
Steven Adams?
The thing about the All Blacks is that it's like,
he's the NBA player.
He
was on the
NBA
Thunder,
player.
but now he's on another.
Oh
team.
yeah. Tall, like kind of.
Yeah, he's an NBA player.
He looks kind of like Steven Adams.
He's the
Not
tall
7
tan
foot.
dude with like the long bun.
Yeah, and he has the big handlebar mustache and the 2 sleeves of tats.
He kind of looks like if you shrunk down Steven Adams.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
He's a cool guy.
Yeah.
Honestly, my dad probably taught me how to enjoy like male friendships in like a very beautiful way.
Yeah.
Like,
wow.
Where it can be like, dude, because I feel like some people want to like break it down and get real all the time. And it's like, that doesn't have to be what it is. But fucking hanging out with your buds, like, but actually like really like checking in. Like, it's everything. He is a great hang.
Yeah.
Father is a great hang.
I could see that.
Do you ever find it hard to check in with your male friends? Be like,
no.
Be like, hey, dude, let's really talk about like.
Yeah. I find some friends are more or like harder to like penetrate that part of them.
Yeah.
Where it's like like I have a friend, he lives out in Montana. He's like,
oh yeah, that's difficult.
Yeah. He's like, I'll be like, how are you doing? He texts like my dad, where it's like, I'll be like, hey man, love you. And he's like, good seeing you, and then like won't respond for days.
Just nice.
I know.
Yep.
Nice.
I know
Some
he
emoji.
has. I know because like whenever we see each other, it's like big hugs.
Yeah.
We love seeing each other, but like he doesn't have it in him to like
say I love you.
I love you back.
Do you say that to all your male friends?
If I do have genuine love for a person, like in my heart, I started saying it in like after senior year because I was like, oh, I know I'm not going to be seeing these guys as much, so I want to let them know I care about them.
Yeah.
So like it just started as like I said it to like my friends when like I hadn't seen them in a while, and then it just became a thing where it's like, yeah, have you ever heard that thing where it's like you never know when you're gonna see somebody again, so you want like the last thing you say to them to be like a good thing?
No, but that's beautiful.
Yeah, so like I always try to like say it
Yeah.
whenever like I'm saying bye to somebody.
Huh.
That's
Or, like
good.
hanging up on a call.
Yeah.
I
No.
say it's like my parents, even if I'm leaving the room, I say it to my parents all the time.
Wow.
Are you a phone call? I think you're a phone call. We've had
I much prefer a phone call
I love a
to
good phone
texting.
call.
Texting.
Yeah. I'm definitely a phone call buddy. Wait, hold on. Friend breakups. You guys never had a friend breakup?
I've had them like fizzle out. I've apologized to somebody for like stop hanging out with them because like I've stopped hanging out with people for like the wrong reasons in like high school.
See, I stopped hanging out with people for the wrong reasons, but I've also done it for the right reasons. I feel.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I think
It's
we've all done that. But like I apologized to somebody like for stopping hanging out with them for like the wrong reason. They're like, I couldn't be bothered.
When I was like a child, though, I would, I mean, it would be kind of like what you're saying, like I don't like your voice, but it would be like I didn't. But it wouldn't be that.
You know, it's still that.
I don't like how you talk.
Yeah, dude,
I mean,
you talk so dumb. You talk
I'll
so
say,
dumb.
I will never be like close friends with someone who has like a terrible laugh, I think.
I have a pretty bad laugh.
No,
do you have friend red flags? Like, you know, people say they have dating red flags. Do you have
For
friend
sure, yeah.
red flags? What are your friend red
I
flags?
stopped seeing a girl because she watched bad TV. So
that,
like,
I mean, that, if someone's like,
That's valid.
if it's my thing is if it's ever like too much of anything. So I
Yeah.
stopped being friends with a kid at 9.
yeah.
at the time, all I could like vocalize and like from whatever like vocabulary I had was like, this kid kind of is a pussy and sucks.
Yeah.
But like
But you didn't have like the language to
At
say
age
it
9?
yet.
looking back, it's like
Yeah.
he was like socially underdeveloped.
He was
like,
9.
Listen, he was one of those kids that is like strictly chicken nuggets, freaks out all the time. It's
Yeah.
kind of just like crazy to be around. And
Well, he's like that TikTok, that one guy that does those TikToks where it's like Mrs. Boltanski, like
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
And, like-
oh yes, I know who
Yeah,
you're talking about. Yeah,
and
the kid
like
who sucks.
just
yeah.
generally a terrible hang.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
And I
Well,
simply
you know
don't
what
have,
you know what I attribute that to? Sorry to cut you off, but whenever I see like a poorly trained dog, I'm like, I don't not like the dog. I don't like the people who own the dog. That's how I feel like with bad kids. It's like I don't.
buddy,
I mean, like,
I already hated his parents. I already hate.
What kind
if
of
I see a bad
kind
kid,
of-
I'm like, oh, that kid has like bad parents. Like,
Yeah, no, he did.
Dude,
His
what kind of
parents
emotional maturity did you have at age 9? Where you
I was
knew,
I feel like
you knew how and when to cut people out of your life?
I feel like he was like
I was
doing
like-
taxes, and his dad would come in, and he'd be like, "Aha, I'm busy.
Yeah.
Get out."
No, I'm more of the asshole kid who's like smoking a pipe on like a log or something. It's
Yeah,
like,
Damn.
I feel like you
You
smoked
sounded like a really
cigarettes.
fun hang at age 9.
No,
I feel like you
was.
smoke cigarettes not to be cool, but because you had a lot on your mind.
yeah. I was like, I just need,
Yeah.
Dude, I just need to
fucking
decompress.
Yeah.
Oh,
God damn
playtime was fucking rough today,
Yeah.
man.
It's like we learned colors today. The
Jesus
fuck is
Christ.
orange?
Like-
Fucking everyone's throwing out fucking maroon. I don't know what
Yeah.
the fuck's going
Like,
on.
what is it? Red or is it purple?
We got to
Get it together.
We got a fucking recession coming, guys. We got a recession coming, and you're all just playing what ball?
Yeah.
I don't want to play ball.
So it was.
He's like behind one of the you know what's a really fun aspect of childhood? Like a lot of like toy sets are just like things adults do, but
Mm.
like more colorful. Like
Yeah.
he has like a bank teller podium and he's just behind it like, man, Monopoly Town is just in shambles right now.
There's no way this economy is going to work. Like
We're going
this.
under.
You're just like
We're going
putting
under.
down plastic dollar bills and credit cards.
Reading the journal.
Yeah.
So it was.
But it's just a foam thing that says journal.
Yeah.
I was half that, and then half just very much a loose cannon.
Would you like get really pissed off a lot as
Yeah.
a little kid?
Yeah.
Again, the more you explain your childhood to me, the more I'm just like, maybe other people cut you out of their lives.
Yeah.
Oh no! I mean, there's times where I was like wrong about like
Yeah.
I'm fully copped to that, but it was fucking. I had fun.
Yeah.
I was like I was like a Wall Street guy as a 4-year-old. I was very like, God, that's how I'm fucking. Like there's
It's all fucked.
if you want like a snapshot of what I was like at like 4 or 5, there's one time where I was at my brother's little league game, and there's always like a little playground for like all the younger siblings, and I had basically set up. I was basically I was like captain of the playground,
Yeah.
and I had convinced like 3 of my friends to be like my first mates, sort of thing, like
Yeah.
creating a barrier so that like you basically had to pay tribute to me to get on the playground. And
You created a totalitarian state.
Yeah, and I was calling kids bastards, and I had a speech impediment too. So I was like this weird crooked pirate. And
What was
like,
your speech impediment? Was it
Oh,
Bastards?
bastards.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
S's, R's, TH.
You were like
Oh.
a weird dictator
Yeah.
who was like.
I did this weird thing. I call myself Mussolini.
Yeah.
Like all the kids had to call me Mussolini.
That's insanely funny.
That's
But
hilarious.
so then
Wait, how would you make them pay tribute to you?
I don't. I'm hearing this.
You
from,
remember?
I think they just had to pass the vibe check.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
I feel like that was mostly it.
That's why Matt was like, have you guys ever like, I don't know, like, had any friend breakups, like maybe
Yeah.
at age 9 where they just didn't pass the vibe check? Totally random experience.
I love the idea they had to like pay tribute to like a mob boss, but they're just sending you envelopes filled with like gummy bears.
Yeah. It's like wood chips.
You're short.
You're short.
That's how
You're shaking it. It's like, this
kids-
is only 4.
Kids invent social status on their own. I was
Yeah.
a camp counselor for a while, and out of nowhere, every summer, kids would start using like wood chips as currency. And then all of a sudden, there was one kid who's at the top of the pyramid out of nowhere, and it was motherfuckers like you who would be.
I'd
But it's
also
funny
like-
because like
who
you can
know
just
power dynamics.
It's
at that
funny
age.
because you can just like find wood chips, but like if somebody just like found wood chips and said they have more, it's like no, but these aren't the right type.
Yeah,
I
no,
also-
but see, look, that's,
I will
look at
say,
this wood
that's
chip. What is
kinda
this?
where,
What
like,
is
my-
this? What is this?
That's where I
You
found.
painted fucking packing peanuts
painted this-
brown.
Eats it. Like, get out of my face. Get out of my... The 2 bigger kids come by and
Yeah.
lift them up and take them out.
That is where I found that like I probably socially peaked at 4 or 5.
Yeah, that's sad. Damn.
Yes, it is.
You shouldn't
but-
tell
Are you
people
okay,
that.
man? You good?
No, I'm great. But I always, having been at the top at such a young age, I could
Yeah.
always sort of see the whole spectrum, you know?
Yeah.
Now I sort of,
You need to.
I'm like a banished king now who just
Yeah.
watches from a different mountain. Who's
You need to
just-
take that
I
clip
had
and
it
put it
all.
in. You need to take that clip and put it in like one of those like entrepreneur videos with like dramatic music behind you. And like being on top at such a young age, you
Yeah.
know, you can understand.
At 4
like,
years
the
old, I
dynamics.
was
Yeah.
king of the castle.
I was king of the
Yeah.
castle. And where do you go from there? And yeah, I was talking to Jay-Z one time, and, and that's your whole clip right there.
Well, honestly, I was like, because I found that anytime that you would like, because I did enjoy being the center of attention, but it was always like, I'd always get in trouble for doing shit like that. And then I hated getting in trouble.
You do seem
Oh.
like one of those, like all of those megalomaniacs who like build a business, like an Andrew Tate, like all like they were
You're
all
just like Andrew
you-
Tate.
Well,
you-
no.
oh, dude,
So they
you're
were like
just like-
all
oh,
they
I'm
were
always
all
saying
like
that.
how you were at 4, but they like didn't become self-aware.
Yeah.
Or they did and they were just like, no, I like being this way. Like I feel like you reached a pivotal point where you're like, I have to make a decision to either be a person
Well,
or
I
just
also
not care about people.
Yeah, I also realized I sucked.
Yeah. Yeah, like a lot of those guys don't
Yeah.
make that realization.
It is such an inherently male thing to have that energy though at like a young age. I was with my niece over Thanksgiving and we went to like a park or whatever and she comes out with a bike and there was another little girl like across the park with a bike
Yeah.
and the little girl calls out to my niece. She's like 4 and she was like, "Hey, I really like your bike." And my niece goes, "Thanks." And I was
Yeah.
like, that would never happen with
Yeah.
2 4-year-old boys. A kid would
No,
be like,
yeah.
who's this fucker with the bike?
Yeah.
My bike's so much better. He goes over, kicks the bike
Yeah.
over.
Yeah,
We get like violent rage and like jealousy over how they have a good bike.
Yeah, it's like, what,
but you know
is
what?
this?
You know what we have that I feel like children don't?
penises.
Yes.
You know what
I
us
mean,
grown men
no.
have that
Yeah.
girl children don't?
Bank accounts.
Bank accounts.
But I feel like what we have,
The courage to go to war.
the shit that like a 4-year-old,
The obligation to go to war.
4-year-old little boys will bond
Yeah.
over is all like make a noise and it was like,
Yeah.
and then you're like, holy shit,
That was cool. Derek
he's
just did
onto
something
something.
awesome.
And then you do it and you're like,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
you just fucking
Yeah.
for hours on end, you're just,
But or if you do it slightly wrong, they're like, no, you're
that's
out.
true.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
true.
You
But
ever get chanting with a group of guys over something? Like,
oh, dude, yeah, bro, chant.
I saw this
Yeah.
video. A bunch of these guys just kind of coalesced in Washington Square Park. A dude was skateboarding,
Yeah.
and he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna hit a kickflip." And then like I think the kids were on like a tour or something, and then one guy just goes, "Yo, he's trying to hit a kickflip." All of a sudden, another guy was like, "Is there a group forming? Is he gonna
Yeah.
hit a kickflip?" And they're like,
Yeah.
"We all of a sudden it was like a group of 20 guys all like chanting his name, and then he hit a kickflip. All the guys freaked out, like band around him. They just
Yeah.
start like chanting and jumping up and down. I had the biggest dopamine rush just
Yeah.
watching that
Yeah,
video. 'Cause
it's
I was
crazy
like, wow.
how like
It's
that's
crazy.
like a few steps away from like how Hitler came.
Yeah,
to
I was gonna
power.
say that's
Yeah.
like very close to the Nazi
But at
party.
the same time, I love when guys hang out.
Yeah. Oh,
Like,
dude,
dude.
guys hanging out is the best.
Like, but out of nowhere, like literally, it can happen out of like there's
Yeah.
nothing, and then some guy's like, "I'm gonna do one thing," and then
Yeah.
everyone's like,
He's gonna do that thing.
He's gonna do that.
"I
thing.
guess this is the biggest moment of our lives now."
Yeah, this is the highlight of my week right now. Watching you play Halo and just
Yeah.
commenting on
But
it.
I mean, as much as we can tear each other down, we can fucking root for each other
Oh,
so over
dude.
nothing.
Yeah, every
Watching a guy do something cool that like takes like, because like a kick flip takes a lot of practice.
Yeah,
What's the first thing in your like dudes hanging out life where like when some kid does something and you're like, wow, like
I would say when somebody proved themselves to be the fastest kid in the class.
oh yeah.
yeah.
You always knew who that
Yeah.
was too. He was,
It's
he was
like,
known in
dude,
the school.
he gets all the chicks.
The
He's the
amount-
best. Even though
Ray-
none of us have ever talked to a girl before.
yeah,
We had a kid, Ray Talasco, who was not only the new kid, but he was also the fastest kid at the same
Fucking
time.
God.
It's like,
that Ray Talasco is also
and that's
such
a sick
great
name, right?
this guy's a triple threat.
He
Ray,
ruled for
dude.
Ray Talasco, fastest kid, and he was new, and he was from like a different state.
What
Oh my
state was he
God.
from?
I don't even remember.
Probably
He was
like
that foreign.
Probably like
Yeah.
Colorado or something.
yeah, something sick. Ray's
a state
awesome.
that you hadn't heard of at that age.
Dude, I
Yeah.
haven't talked to him in 18 years. That's nuts.
Yeah.
But he was like living it up in
Yeah.
fourth grade.
Dude, Tommy Parker, first grade, fastest kid in the
Parker.
class.
That's another cool kid name.
yeah, Tommy
You know?
and Dylan Kovaleski He was like they were the two of them were like tied for fastest kids in the class in first grade.
And it was never distance running. It was always sprinting.
No, it was always short distance sprinting.
It was always short distance sprinting.
And I remember we were at a birthday once, and like I thought I was keeping up with Dylan. And then he was like, "No, I just lapped you." And I was like, "Fuck, he's so cool."
God damn, that guy's awesome.
That's when you become aware of your mortality.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I'm gonna die one day.
What about like middle school? Like, what about like? I feel like
What?
Middle
there's-
school is when it was like, oh, whoever can like make people laugh.
What's the
was
coolest thing in middle
funniest.
school?
Yeah,
I
like
think it
when
was, like-
does a guy like? Yeah, I think
Because
it,
that's like when like being the
Actually-
class clown really like came into.
I think it depends because there's also the kids that are like just starting to like kiss, and then there's also the kids that are like hooking up at that. age.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for us, it was the kids who could like actually talk to girls.
Yeah.
Those were like the coolest ones because that was
Actually
the
talking
first
to girls
time
and
where it
making
actually,
people laugh.
yeah, that was the first time where it actually became
Yeah.
relevant.
Because that's when like knowing a lot of sports made you seem like less cool and just kind of made you seem more autistic.
Yeah, you were like,
Yeah.
oh, that's the
Yeah.
NFL kid.
And
He,
honestly-
he wears jerseys.
Yeah.
Dude,
Like, that's
I wasn't even on that wave yet.
Oh,
I was still holding
Still-
it down
I'm
with my
still not
boys.
on that wave.
Yeah,
what
chicks suck, dude.
Knowing about
talk-
sports.
Oh, I think, wait, are you talking about sports or talking about girls?
Oh, I'm
Both.
talking about both.
Yeah. Like I middle school, I was like, yeah, I'm not ready for this. Like I'd have crushes and shit, but at the same time, nothing's better than just rattling off like the statistics from the 2006 Oakland A's team that went to the playoffs.
Oh
Nothing.
yeah, because you're a big A's fan.
Oh,
Right?
dude, especially back then.
Yeah.
Forget it.
It's crazy, dude. Kids could go like fucking beat for beat with like the most well-versed correspondents on ESPN. Like,
Oh yeah.
I would like sit at the table and hear them like just reading off stats for like
Yeah.
third like bench players on the Celtics, and I'd be like, how do you have the time? Like, how are you failing algebra,
Yeah,
but you're
dude.
fucking like memorizing lineups for the Dolphins?
Dude, I wish I learned a language instead of caring about what like the Dallas Mavericks had.
No
to
way,
score that
dude.
day.
I'm so proud that I know that. I fucking love knowing the 2006 A's lineup.
Do you
Yeah.
still know it?
I might.
Can you rattle it off right now?
I think I could get.
Was that the closest that they were to winning a World Series?
No.
Have they ever won?
They went to the ALCS that year, but got swept by
Was
the
that
Tigers.
the Moneyball year?
No, that was 2002, I think.
Okay.
All right, can you name
Dude,
the lineup?
That was still when
2006.
Billy Bean's leaving, right? Or has he already left?
He's transitioning into a different role.
Oh, okay.
2006. All right, you have catcher was Jason Kendall.
Okay.
Second baseman was Mark Ellis. Third baseman was Eric Chavez.
You could be lying to either.
Yeah,
of us.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna fact check.
Pitcher
you on
was
this.
Jose Canseco.
Yeah.
Outfielder was Jose Canseco.
Right fielder was Jeremy Giambi. Left fielder was Jeremy Giambi. First baseman was Jeremy Giambi.
Yeah, and then Johnny Damon was the coach, I think,
Yeah.
at that time. Yeah, that's definitely what it was.
Whatever, guys.
For like for the first half of Moneyball, I thought the coach or the manager was Buck Showalter because Philip Seymour Hoffman looks exactly like Buck Showalter in that
True.
movie.
Fuck, I forget who. I think it's Ken Maka was the coach at the
I
time.
think it was Ken
So
Maka.
here's the
Ken
thing.
Maka was definitely the coach for 2006.
Here's the thing that we're doing right now that I think is
talking about shit that are going to make people stop listening.
Yeah, here's the thing where people don't give a shit about. No, I think that like, this is male friendship to a T, where you find maybe I think like one of four things to talk about with another guy to
Yeah.
see if you'll be friends or not, and that's like sports, movies, music, maybe. And I actually think it's only three things. I don't know what
I think
else.
stand-up has like made its way into that.
I mean,
'Cause-
maybe for us, but
no,
like,
because like I think stand-up's become such like a popular thing in pop culture now since like because TikTok and like you and like Reels have
Yeah.
like really popularized it. Because like anybody that like if you talk to somebody about like stand-up back in like the mid 2000s, they'd be like, I mean, I've seen a few specials, but like I don't really know that much. Now it's like everywhere. So like anybody you talk to, like people from like
people have like regionally favorite.
people from
stand-ups, too.
Cambodia have a favorite stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, and it's more niche.
and like an American favorite stand-up comedian too, just because
Yeah.
like it's everywhere.
yeah, and that's good for society.
Yeah.
I think.
Did you guys have a buddy where you like locked? It was the first buddy you had when you like both locked on to the same thing and bonded over it.
I'm trying to think.
I feel like,
oh
honestly,
yeah,
for-
my buddy, where it's like I'd had best friends before this, but like I never really knew their favorite thing. Where it's like when the first time me and a buddy had our favorite thing, it was like my buddy Happy, and just like it was really just doing bits with each other was like our favorite thing.
That's sick.
Yeah. Ryan McNulty, still one of my best friends. We call him Happy.
Shouts out. Yeah, I was gonna ask what that name came from, but
One of his basketball coaches in like elementary school called him Happy, and it stuck because
pretty
he's like
sick
the most
nickname.
happy-go-lucky guy.
Nicknames.
Yeah.
nicknames are
Dudes
big
love
too.
nicknames.
Dudes
I've
really
never
love
heard
it.
a
Did you
girl
guys
give
have
another girl a
nickname?
nickname.
Yeah, I've never. I've heard girls give girls nicknames in high
like
school,
slut
but it was
or
always the
something like Whore. Like I've heard girls call that each other. I've never heard a girl be like, "Hey, Bean," like nothing like that.
Hey,
Yeah.
Happy.
Actually, no, I did know a girl named Bean.
You know what was
that
the classic
nicknamed
nickname?
Bean.
The classic
I've
nickname.
never heard of a girl named Bean.
It was all right.
Just kidding.
One.
I was gonna say that was a
bad
random ass
example.
nickname to
Yeah.
bring out. Girls. The classic nickname in high school was you would do the first letter of your first name and then the first syllable of your last name.
Like T-Mac.
Yeah, yours doesn't work. And
Well,
Snides
everybody
doesn't
just.
work.
I've been called Snyder since I was like
Snides.
Snides. I was called Snides by people.
Yeah.
Pussy. That was a big one.
yeah.
Pussy Magnet.
Oh, that's
no, nobody
fucking-
ever called me that.
I got all
No.
variations of my name: Matt, Maddie, Matthew,
Yeah.
Hansel, cunt.
Yeah. Nice. That's awesome.
I had one.
So we all got
baseball-
bullied here, right?
Yeah.
We all got
Dan,
bullied.
did you ever have a nickname?
I did. In high school, my nickname was Sweatbag.
For real?
Yeah, it was. Well, it wasn't like they would be like.
Did you have like hyperhidrosis or something?
No, it's because I did a lot in high school, and so
Yeah.
they started calling me Sweatbag because the joke was like if you went really hard at gym class, people
Yeah.
would call you a sweatbag. But I did outside.
God,
of
that
it.
is so fucking Massachusetts right there.
Yeah.
Look at this fucking sweatbag
This
over
fucking
here.
Sweatbag.
When
over
I
here.
pledged to fraternity, my pledge name was Dog Tits, so I have that going for me.
Dude,
Frats are
Dog
awesome.
Tits.
Frats are awesome, dude. Frats
Yeah,
are
I
sick.
mean, did you were you in a frat?
No.
You were in a frat.
I was in a fraternity.
What is that? I don't know that.
That's like
we don't know that
ultimate dude friendship.
Yeah.
Like, because it's like, it's a bunch
Again,
of
also like steps away from the Nazi party. Like you get
Does it not?
steps away from the Nazi party.
Does it not?
every
Because
male
there's a
friendship-
lot of chance that you gotta learn.
Yeah, male friendship, you got to get just close enough to
But
the
it's
Nazi
like there's
party.
so much homoeroticism where it's like you'll walk into a room and it'll be like two dudes cuddling on a bed watching like John Wick, and they'll be like, "Come on in," and
Yeah.
it's just like dudes like hugging each other
Yeah.
on like a couch
Yeah.
and like watching like the most dude TV shows and movies.
Does it not feel insane to go through like a ritualistic process to be
Oh,
friends with a
it's
guy?
insanity that
Okay,
like
'cause
I did that.
I
like
rushed-
if somebody asked me to do that now, I'd be like, "You're out of your fucking mind."
Yeah,
if you want me
I
to do
rushed
that.
for 1 week in
Yeah.
college, and they locked us in a garage and had us say the Greek alphabet backwards, out of
Yeah.
order, all
you
this
had
sort
to,
of
you had to
different shit.
memorize it.
Yeah, and then it was like they'd like point to you, and you'd have to say the right letter,
Yeah.
and
Wait,
like
they did that during Rush?
yeah,
They
That's
didn't-
insane.
they didn't make you,
Wait,
like-
where'd you go to college?
fucking where didn't I go to college?
Oh yeah, you moved around a lot.
I went to
Ah.
Sac State, then went to 2 different JCs, then went to San Francisco State,
Yeah.
and then in the middle of that, COVID happened, so I moved to New Zealand.
Oh yeah. That's
Whoa.
right.
That's nuts.
Damn, that during Rush is like because Rush is when they're supposed to be like selling you on.
Oh,
like,
sorry, maybe it
joining
wasn't
them.
Rush.
You
it
might have
was-
already been
I think
pledging.
you were pledging.
Yeah, okay, yeah, sorry. I forget.
You were just so in it. You were like, "This is still Rush."
we're like doctors diagnosing a
Yeah.
patient. We're like,
Yeah.
you were pledging.
And then you were like, and then I went through 6 weeks of that, and then I was just like hanging out with them. It's like, oh, I think you joined a
I think
fraternity.
I think you were in a fraternity, man. I think you were fully.
Yeah, I was
Then
like
we-
And then I
rushing-
was doing that to other kids.
Yeah, and
who
then
were
I got
younger than me.
branded, and then I
Yeah.
like graduated from college.
Yeah.
It was this weird period of time in my life.
fucking
So you did pledge a fraternity.
for 1 week, and then they did
Yeah.
that, and I was like, there's no way
Yeah.
I'm doing this.
Yeah. They did like a lot of ours was mostly just like exercising in the basement.
They didn't make you
We would
drink
just
like
do, like-
egregious amounts. They didn't like get you guys fucked up.
I
all the
mean,
time?
yeah, sometimes like well, yeah, a lot. There was a lot of that. We had to it's so fucking stupid saying it out loud. We had to do this thing
Say
called,
it.
We had
Say
to
it,
do this
you
thing
little
called the
desperate
pumpkin
boy.
chug, and it was when they would group us up in like groups of like 4 or 5, and they'd give us like a 30 rack, and we had to drink the entire 30 rack. But the catch was we had to drink it all out of a pumpkin.
Nice.
It was
That's
just
sick.
stupid shit. There was one
That's
funny.
awesome.
There was one thing that they did.
Sometimes they can be good. Sometimes they can be good. I've heard of good ones.
There was one funny thing that I still think this is funny, and they called it needle in the haystack night, where they'd fill the basement with hay and put like nails in the hay,
What?
and then we'd have to find everyone. They told us there was a certain amount of them,
Yeah.
and like we'd have to find, and there was never that amount. There was
Yeah.
always less,
right.
and then like we'd have to find them, and they were like, "You didn't find all of them?" We were
Yeah.
like, "No."
I had a friend who
That in like it's not like doing that to a group of people is like stupid, but that like the idea of that is very funny.
I
Yeah.
just gotta say the idea that like that's the lengths that guys will go to hang out.
Yeah.
you need a challenge. You need to do something to like because it's like
I'll do anything to hang
Again,
out with cool guys.
Dude, it's like a replacement for the military. It's like you go through this dumb challenge for no reason, but then once you get out of it, you're just like, hey, we're brothers for life,
Yeah,
man. You
we're
remember
brothers.
when we were pulling nails out of the hay? Dude, I love you, bro.
Yeah.
And it's like, why does that bring you closer? But challenges do, you know? I had a friend who for his rush, they locked him in a closet and it was like a carpeted closet. And then they got a thing of sprinkles and then they poured it all over the carpet. They turned the lights off and they were like, you're not allowed out until you put all the sprinkles back in the
That's pretty funny.
in the vial. And so he was there for like 6 hours.
There's like nightmarish ones I've heard.
There's
of, like,
horrible ones.
SEC schools where I heard, I think it might be down at like Alabama or like maybe WVU where, and this is like, these are like mythic horror stories that you hear about like from a friend of a friend that went there.
Yeah.
Like I heard a story one time about how there was like one fraternity down south that would make give pledges acid and then put them under the floorboards during a party and they'd have to stay there all night.
Well, and this is the thing. This is the thing about male
Good
friendship, right?
God.
Is that we're all talking about fun things and it just takes one story to send it over the edge.
And then it's like, that's a nightmare.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's like so close to the precipice.
Yeah.
Dude, so there was a kid that was 2 years younger than me. He was like on the rugby team, but on like JV team when I was on varsity. He also was on the football team and started like it only lasted 2 years because they got in a lot of trouble. But he started a tradition where the freshmen who get brought up to JV for the last game of the year, it's always this big thing. They would put them through a hazing ritual, and they ended up fingering kids in the ass.
We didn't do
Nope,
anything
didn't
like
do any of
that.
that.
It just goes to show.
Noah and I are both just like,
It just goes to show how
that's
like
fucked up.
thin that line
Yeah,
can be
yeah.
between like, and also like there's just like 15-year-old kids. All like that kid says it, but there's also the kids that go, yeah, that's a good idea. That's
Yeah.
a good idea.
again, we're just getting back to the Nazi party,
Yeah.
guys. I think that's the thing about like, whenever I feel like that's why a lot of dudes, when you meet
Yeah.
them first, they're all like kind of tense in a
Yeah.
group because you're just like, who's the one in this group that
Yeah.
just is a little bit tweaked and would bring us over the edge?
Dudes
there?
hanging out is either like, hey, like we're gonna get like a bunch of beers. Maybe it'll turn into us having a good time. Maybe it'll turn into us planning a mass genocide.
Yeah.
Like,
Just like-
it's so weird how there's like two routes it can split
This is
off
why men
in.
can't be friends because
And
we
there's,
know
like-
how bad it can get.
There's
Yeah.
like a thin tinfoil wall right in between them that if you give it the slightest poke, every guy's like, I mean, we could do without like
Yeah. That's the thing. You meet like a group of guys and you're like, oh, this group seems fine. And then there's always one
Yeah.
person in the group where they're just like,
Yeah.
oh, well, Josh is crazy.
Yeah.
now. But we keep him around. It's
Yeah.
like, why?
Well, Josh hates deaf people, but that will not. And then Josh is like, you guys hate deaf people, right? It's like, oh, I have my problems
Yeah.
with them.
Yeah. We're all just like, oh, Josh, that's hilarious. And he's like,
Yeah.
what?
It's because that is a very male thing where it's like you'll be friends with a guy forever and then something will happen. You go, what?
Yeah.
And like I was telling you this before, but I had a buddy. We were like looking to watch a movie, like all of us hanging out one night. We were just like getting stoned in college,
Yeah.
and we were gonna watch the Harvey Milk movie.
Yeah.
Harvey Milk, famous.
It's just a bunch of guys watching
Famous-
the Harvey
famous
Milk
gay-
movie.
Tell you about this. That is dudes hanging out. That's like peak dudes hanging out because it's like we're all dumb, but we're open minded.
Yeah, yo, you
so,
guys want to?
so we're gonna watch the Harvey Milk movie, and we're like, well, my friend's like, oh, who's Harvey Milk? And I was like, oh, like famous mayor of like San Francisco, gay guy. He goes, as soon as I say gay guy, like, I don't think we should watch that. And we all kind of like pause and we're like, what? Why?
Why
We're
not?
Like, I just don't think I don't feel.
Something about a dude's voice.
Yeah.
He just
He's like-
talks funny.
Yeah, and I was like, "Are you? I think what you don't want to watch it because he's gay." He was like,
Yeah.
"I mean, yeah, it's just not
Yeah.
for me." And I was
Wow.
like, "That's homophobic," and he's like,
Yeah.
"No," and I'm like, "No, dude, that's literally homophobic."
Yeah.
People say homophobic; they just mean they don't like gay people.
Yeah.
You're literally scared of it. Like you're
Yeah.
frightened
Yeah.
at the idea of that you're gonna watch this guy and then something's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Well, there, have you ever had like straight male friends ask to
No.
like do something that's sick? Ask to like do something like cultural with you, and it's like I had a friend recently who we're both just like buddies, and we've like hung out occasionally. We've gotten drinks, and then one day he was like, "Yo, hey man, you want to go like see a play?" And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Do you want?" No, it's dumb. I was like, "No, what are you saying?" And he was like, "No, like, do you want to like see a play?" And I was like, Yeah, I'd love to.
Do we know this person?
I'd love to. No, you don't.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, yeah, I'd love to see a play, man. That'd be great. And he was like, all right, cool. I got 2 tickets to the Irish Repertory Theater. I was like, you already bought. I was like, you already bought.
I love so
awesome.
much too that it's not like a big like playhouse. It's like a very specific theater.
Yeah, and he already bought the tickets.
Yeah.
He was, and I was like, have you asked anybody else? He was like, no, you're the first one. But like, you don't have to. It's like it might be gay. Like it might be totally gay. And I'm like, you're just saying that now just to get that out of your system. You know, I don't know. It's just
Is this
like
a Boston friend?
No, this is a friend that I've just known in New York and stuff.
Okay.
But it's just funny, like when you know your friend, like even like in high school when Her was out, my remember we heard with like Joaquin Phoenix and stuff. Like I remember that was out the same time as like the Star Wars movie or something like that, or some other like big blockbuster. And I think the thing is, it's like I was with my dad and my friend who also like watched movies and stuff, and we were just like, my dad was driving us somewhere, and I was like, oh, dude, we should go see Her. And then my friend was like, we should go see Her. And then my dad was like, you guys are seeing Her instead of Star Wars? And then I was like, oh, yeah, damn it, that's going to set me back so many years.
Yeah.
So, let's go see Star Wars. Her's dumb.
God. All right. Let's switch over to the debate. I feel like it's
Let's
time.
start hating each other now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that was already kind of a contentious start.
debates,
I feel like we kind of went after each other a little bit. And like I feel like we didn't get enough of like the good parts of dudes hanging out.
No, we talked a lot about the good parts of it. Well, there is so much bad about dudes hanging out.
I know.
That,
Fuck.
like
I was trying to disprove that too.
Yeah.
I went into it with like, I want to show people that dudes hanging out is good. And then like, we're honestly always on the edge of Nazi Germany. We're so close.
Okay, I will
We're
say
always
this.
so
I do think
close.
dudes hang out is good. I think guys should hang out more, but like understand what like it looks like in a positive environment.
Yeah.
You know? I think that it's important. I think guys need more male friends and like have like positive relationships with them.
Yeah, and I think back to my dad being awesome. I think a lot of dads suck, and maybe that's why some guys
not
suck
my
at it.
dad.
I feel like
my dad's awesome too.
You guys got cool dads.
We got really cool dads. Yeah,
That's why we're such cool dudes.
actually, I don't know if my dad is cool, but he doesn't care about being cool, and I think that is
Yeah.
what makes him cool. He
Same with
he
my
could
dad.
not give less of a fuck about.
See, no,
it.
I mean, my thing is, I've always thought like the cool dad is the most dangerous dad to have.
that's true.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, dude, he lets us fucking drink beers and we're 13 and he's
Yeah.
always on opiates and he's the fucking man.
Mr. Adamson is my dad.
Yeah.
Call me Jake. You're like, get away from
Yeah.
me.
He was like,
I want to go home.
I'm gonna call you sir. All right.
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm
no,
gonna shake your hand.
Yeah.
the
Trying to dap me up. Get the fuck out of here.
my
Yo, someone's got the Riz,
Yeah.
right?
my fa-
Get away from me.
someone's
someone's
quirked up right now.
Some 45-year-old man was
Zooted
like,
off some Cheetos, am I right? Dog.
some
I want to
45-year-old
go home and see my dad.
Some
Yeah,
40
button up your shirt, bro.
Yeah.
some 45-year-old dad.
Dude, shouldn't you be at work?
Jesus Christ! I'm trying to get my bit off.
Don't give me a beer, you psycho.
Yeah.
Oh God!
What were you gonna say?
Some like 45-year-old dad trying to like egg you on because he thinks some 14-year-old girl is hot, and then like you feeling the pressure at your young age, like I guess but like no, you shouldn't be
Yeah.
talking about like you shouldn't be the cool dad in that instance.
No.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna enough about dudes hanging out.
All right.
I love dudes.
I love
Yeah, dudes are awesome. We endorse dudes on this
Yeah.
podcast.
So the debate I have for you two is Boston versus the state of Maryland.
versus the state of Maryland. A
And
city.
a city versus a state.
I think we should preface.
Under what
I'm
context?
from Maryland. Dan is you're from Boston.
I'm not
right?
from the city of Boston,
But
no.
you, like,
I'm from an
grew
hour
up
south.
around there.
I'm from an hour south of Boston.
Okay.
I feel like no one's ever actually. I don't believe Boston exists.
That's awesome.
Everyone
man.
I've
No, my
ever
brother lives there.
no everyone everyone I've
Nice.
ever met is
That's
like
first
I'm not
rule of
from
improv.
Boston. I'm just around Boston.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't believe in it.
Yeah.
that's awesome. Man. That's
so
really cool.
what's like Maryland? What's bad about Maryland?
So
Uh,
wait, the argument is which is worse, the entire state of Maryland or the city of Boston?
Yes.
And are we picking the city of Boston because if we did the whole state of Massachusetts, we know who would win here?
I don't. Do you feel like
I have a lot of fodder for why I think Massachusetts. as a
let's go
state
Mass
should-
versus
Really?
Maryland then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mass versus Maryland.
I want to hear like
I mean,
what like defines why Maryland sucks to you.
I have told people from America, like not from Maryland, but from America. Like I've said Maryland, they're like, I thought that was a city. Like nobody knows we exist.
That's
like,
true.
Yeah, it's
Nobody knows Maryland.
Dude, Maryland's the Delaware of states, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Like the fact that people are like, oh yeah, you're from Maryland. Like you ever go to like Bethany or like Fenwick? And I'm like, those are two beach towns in Delaware. Like the main thing that we're known for is Baltimore. Like that's the big thing. And Baltimore,
sucks.
Not a good place.
Yeah.
I have friends who live there. They're the worst.
I've
Like,
actually heard good things about Baltimore.
I've
I
only
heard it
ever-
has a great aquarium.
it does
actually.
have a great aquarium. The fact that that's our shining light.
Yeah. Also, like I said before we started recording, aquarium is not a brag.
For me, it is a brag because I love the Baltimore
Aquariums
aquarium.
are pretty sweet. I really like
I think that
aquariums,
highlights how bad it is because you've been brought up in an environment where you think aquariums are like really cool.
Oh, I'm sorry. Have you never been to? Have you never seen a
I've been
shark
to an
swim with another
aquarium.
shark?
Someone's got you got red pill. You got aquarium.
Yeah,
red
I'm a
pill.
aquarium-
You got
I'm
blue
aquarium
pill,
red pill.
dog.
I won't. You can't attack the moderator.
What don't you like about aquariums?
It's what am
Yeah,
I?
actually, I'm very curious as to
Yeah.
why
What do
don't
you?
like
Were you raped
It's
in an
fine.
aquarium?
I'm-
What happened?
I don't like to talk about it.
the fish should be free.
Did your dad get you in an aquarium? That's an inside joke. Did your dad get you at an aquarium?
No, he didn't. Stop saying
Tear
that.
rolls down his
Yeah.
face.
No, he didn't. He didn't.
Then why don't you like aquariums?
I think they're fine. I just don't think it's like a cool. It's not a brag.
Okay, what
Matt,
when
Matt,
you go?
Matt, the stock trading 4-year-old walking around
yeah.
being like,
sorry.
what's going on with this bullshit?
Sorry, the big thing for you was going to like the city auditing office and like seeing how they fucking did taxes.
Sorry, I was a fucking.
Matt was too busy at home watching Antiques Roadshow
Yeah.
than to go to an aquarium.
He was
and
too
enjoy
busy
nature.
looking like that's way overvalued.
Why would I ever want to touch a stingray?
Yeah.
That's some bullshit. Dad.
Yeah, have you never felt a stingray pass through your fingers?
Just-
No, you haven't, because you don't have an imagination.
I've never had a stingray pass through my fingers.
Just
but
me at a lemonade stand. Like these prices are too high. Your
Yeah.
product sucks, man.
charging $7 for a
What the
lemonade,
fuck
being
is
like,
this?
all right.
why do
Here's-
I want some quality
Here's
lemonade?
the top things that Baltimore has. Ravens and Orioles games are awesome.
Are they?
They're
Are they?
pretty fun to
Really?
go
Are
to.
the Orioles
the
games?
Orioles
Look, I'm an
games
A's
fun to
fan.
go to?
A's games suck.
Orioles,
Everything about
Orioles
the
Stadium.
open colors-
Orioles Stadium is known as like one of the best stadiums.
Does
in
the
baseball.
team even show up to the games?
Yeah. We suck, but that's why I'm a Mets fan.
Half the team didn't come today.
You guys got the new Bobby Bonilla too, and Chris Davis.
I don't know nothing about baseball.
Never mind.
dude.
I'm just a guy
I
hanging
don't
out.
know
either.
nothing about baseball.
Whatever. Keep going.
Ravens and Orioles games are fun, even though neither team can fucking like.
The Ravens
Play
won a
out what they're
championship
worth.
like 7 years ago.
They should not have won that.
They shouldn't have. The
They're
Niners
not-
should have won.
You guys won 7 years ago. You guys aren't still running off that high?
Yeah. Joe Flacco's an elite quarterback.
Yeah.
We've got the best worst accent.
What's the
the Maryland. I mean, I
what's
will
the Maryland
say.
accent?
Maryland accent. Imagine a Philly accent, but more southern. It's like, dude, we're gonna go down to the harbor. We're
Damn.
gonna.
Hey.
We're down to water. the other
we're
day.
going to fucking Phillips to get crab cakes.
Honestly, I
All
won't
right,
give you
crab
that as a
cake.
point because I fucking love the Maryland accent.
Maryland accent rules.
I will say the
Hey.
mass.
Maryland accent's only been popularized because of Stavi and Nick Mullen
That's. I mean, but it's in.
and The Wire,
The Wire's good.
but not really The Wire
Do they
because
show,
a lot
I've never
of
seen The Wire. Do they show it off in the Maryland
There's
accent?
the one. There's the one
Maryland?
cop guy. who
How do you say
fucking-
Maryland in a
no,
Maryland
because he
accent?
doesn't do it. He more just does like
Yeah. How do you say Maryland in like
Is
a
it Maryland?
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 Hold on, let me get into it. No, dude, we're going down to Maryland.
Maryland.
Some people go Merlin. Some people say Maryland. It's like Merlin, kind of like Merlin.
Yeah.
Got it.
Balmer,
Rules.
but Balmer is more like what? Balmer.
Balmer. Yeah.
Balmer.
That's very close to the Philly accent.
Yeah,
That's
Maryland and
very
Philly are
close to the
pretty
Philly accent.
interchangeable. Philly has more of like New York.
Yeah,
to it.
yeah. You go to the Wawa, get
Yeah.
a hoagie.
That's what's so interesting to me being from like the West Coast is that there
From
is
Philly.
quite a bit of like overlap between states
Yeah.
culture wise, whereas like all the West Coast states are all massive.
Yeah,
So like California
Yeah.
has a vibe.
Yeah.
All the
Oregon
West Coast
has a
states
vibe.
hate each other and don't respect each other.
I think all the West Coast states hate California.
All the
California
East
hates
Coast states
everybody
hate each other, but they respect each other.
Yeah.
Except for Maryland, because they don't know we exist.
Yeah. I just found
another
that out
bad thing
today.
about Maryland, we were going to secede, and then the only reason we didn't is because Lincoln turned the cannons on. I'm not saying it's bad that we didn't secede. I'm saying it's bad that we wanted to.
It didn't work.
The
It's that
only
you didn't have enough clout and like power.
well,
to,
all right.
like-
I'll give you two reasons why we're bad. We tried to secede. Luckily, we didn't because Lincoln turned the cannons on Baltimore at Fort McHenry and said, "If you secede, I will blow this city to smithereens." And we were like, "All right, we're anti-slavery
never
I
now."
love
mind.
America.
So we were.
could you imagine if it didn't, and we just had this one little state
Yeah.
that was just like,
Yeah.
yeah, they hate us, but we
Yeah.
just kind of let them do it.
Maryland was such big pieces of shit that we wanted to secede, and we weren't fucking. We didn't have the balls to actually follow through with what we wanted to do.
You guys suck so bad you can't even be racist.
yeah.
you're not cool enough to be racist.
We're not cool
They
enough.
gave up on racism. They're like, no, I don't
Yeah.
really care that much.
Yeah, even the racists are like, I don't.
Yeah,
think
they're pretty
you got
cool
what it
guys.
Yeah.
takes.
I kind of like them.
We need everything to win this war, and you're not it.
Yeah, even racists didn't want us.
Yeah.
But
So
they're
like,
smart
that's
enough
why
to-
Maryland sucks.
They're smart enough to realize that they.
Why do
wouldn't
you
have won
think
in that case.
Massachusetts?
I think
sucks
Massachusetts.
worse?
Well. I mean, are we doing the whole state of Massachusetts?
Yeah, let it rip.
There is no other state in the United States. There's
That's what I
no
think
other state
Maryland.
in the United States of America.
Nah, I like Maryland, but I will argue for it being the worst for this.
Hey, shut up, man.
Sorry.
There's no other state in the United States that would have more pride in being the worst than Massachusetts.
Yeah.
I could get the people of Massachusetts to
Yeah.
vote on which state was the worst. And even though we know it's false, we would all
Yeah.
vote for it because we have so much hatred in our hearts. You ever
But
meet
that
somebody
makes-
from Boston? They hate you for no reason at all.
Yeah.
And I love it.
But that makes you better than because Maryland is the worst, but we're like, no, Maryland's the fucking best. Like we suck so much that we won't even admit
That's
that we
true.
suck.
That's a
We'll
point.
still Massachusetts will still make that argument. And people from Massachusetts love Massachusetts, but we like that other people hate us.
No, but like having
did you see the Patriots for like the last 20 years?
Yeah, but
we loved being hated, so we relished in
for
it.
sure.
We
yeah, but
relished in
Maryland
it.
hates being
Boston
hated, but we
openly
are
knows.
hated.
Boston
It
openly
makes
knows.
us worse. You know that one kid that's like so disliked, and he's like, "No, I'm the best," but like he's so disliked because he thinks he's the best.
and
Like
he's so unaware of
he's
it.
so unaware of being
Yeah.
like that's Maryland. Whereas like we call
Mouse?
we call Baltimore Charm City. There is nothing charming about Baltimore.
That's
Boston is built off of fabrication and lies. There's a statue next to Faneuil Hall of Sam Adams. You ever heard this story?
Mm-mm.
There's a statue next to Faneuil Hall of Sam Adams, and it's like tall, and he looks like like gorgeous in it. And Sam Adams was a short, like ugly, fat Danny DeVito looking guy.
Yeah, most of the founding fathers were.
And when they were building the statue, they're like, "Hey, it's like Sam, we're gonna build this statue of you." And he was like, "That's sick. So I want you to take my face, and I want you to put it on Paul Revere's body." And that's what the statue outside of Faneuil Hall is. And if there's any like, we love weaseling our way into things and just messing up people's memory of what the state actually was.
I was really hot, actually. No,
I was look how hot I was, dude. And Paul Revere was just like, "Yeah, you can have my body."
You know how
sure."
shitty we are? Like Babe Ruth, famed for being a Yankees player, like one of the greatest sluggers of all time. We try to co-opt that fame by being like, yeah, but he's from Maryland. Nobody gives a shit that Babe Ruth is from Maryland.
That's pretty
like
trash.
they're like, you can go to his house where he grew up. It's like, oh, do you have one of his bats? No, I don't care. Like
People from you can't defend Tom Brady as long as they have and still be a good state. Massachusetts would die for Tom Brady.
Yeah,
and he's still digging himself even deeper.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
well, yeah, at least you like Joe Flacco was like
Also,
Pretty
as a state, we forget about 90% of our state that exists. You know, there's a whole left side to Massachusetts that's not Boston or Cape Cod.
What's even
it's
on
called
the-
Western Mass.
Yeah,
I didn't
it's
just invent
west,
that.
West.
Never
Yeah.
once has somebody from Massachusetts even talked
what state
about
borders
90% of our
what
state.
state borders the west of Massachusetts? Or is it just Canada?
No, it's not. No, it's not Canada. It's
Man, we're really showing off the U.S. geography.
Yeah. God damn it.
Yeah, what
I know it's
state
above New York.
Is it? Is it above New York?
I whiff.
This is really bad.
This is sad.
This is really sad. What state do we think it
it's
is?
worse.
I
I
think
know
New-
Rhode Island's on the right.
New York's actually a really good guess.
I think it might be-
Rhode Island's
Oh no,
under.
I think it is a piece of New York.
Rhode Island's under. It's Rhode
Yeah,
Island and
'cause
Connecticut and
New
Massachusetts
York,
on top of them.
veers out after New York City.
Wait, fuck! I need to see a map. I have no idea.
This is really bad.
This is real. I feel like you guys being East Coasters should know this.
And this is another bad part about Massachusetts. I'd say no state in America has more outsized cultural influence than Massachusetts does. We have such a presence in media, and we make ourselves so well known.
New York.
And we are such a small state. New York is massive.
Yeah, but
And they have they have the largest city in America,
Okay,
the
it's
most
more- yeah,
populated
it's more
city in
New York.
America.
Yeah, New
but
York
Massachusetts is so small. Boston is a minuscule
No,
city.
but
A lot of people don't
Boston's
even live in Boston, and we talk
And
about
everyone
like we're
knows
fucking
how
from
bad
there.
you suck.
You all thought I was from Boston, and I say that to people, and I'm fucking not. I'm
Yeah,
not
but
from Boston at all.
I'm like I grew up outside of Baltimore, but I tell people I'm from Baltimore because nobody knows where Glenarm, Maryland is.
yeah,
I've heard
but
you say I'm from Maryland.
Yeah, I'll tell people. I've
And
started
I have
telling
the tape
people more
right
that
here.
I'm from Maryland.
Okay, let's see where Massachusetts is on a map here. What's everybody's guess? Ours was New York.
I'm gonna say New York
I
borders
have
it to
no
the
idea.
west.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. It's New York
Let me
directly.
see it.
See, look at that.
So,
Okay.
I think you have
Connecticut and Rhode Island sit underneath it. Vermont and New Hampshire above, and then New York to the.
Yeah.
But look, so this is Massachusetts, right?
Yeah. So
all that ever gets mentioned, we literally, it's revisionist history with the whole west side of Massachusetts. You wouldn't even know that the Basketball Hall of Fame is there. And it is.
I wouldn't know that.
Basketball Hall of Fame's in
Springfield, Massachusetts. That's where it is.
I thought it was Springfield, Illinois.
Nope, Springfield, Massachusetts, where the Basketball Hall of Fame is. And people don't even know the majority of our state. People have no idea what it is.
Name another area of Maryland besides Baltimore.
Oh, god damn.
Yeah.
That's a heavy hit right there.
Name another area of Maryland. And you can't.
Annapolis.
All right.
Ooh.
All right, I can do one.
Maybe it's because my brother lives there and he loves it.
Cape Cod. The other sea. Like,
name a single town in Western Mass.
Where were the witches burnt?
Salem.
Salem.
All right, yeah.
Salem.
Great. We have a town that's known for the fact that we dunked women because they were too smart.
Okay.
That's sick.
Is there
pretty cool. Women started to read and we were like, get her in the water. That's what they're known for.
Is there like snapshots of like this is definitive, like a mental snapshot of like moments that have happened to you where like this is so
Maryland,
this is so mass.
Last time
that you're like, this is fucking
we were
garbage.
walking through, I don't know if this is so Maryland. It was really more. This is like, I don't want to talk. I do like Baltimore. So it's weird.
Yes,
it's weird because the Maryland that I grew up with, it's split in half where it's like, it's split in three in thirds. It's like rich yuppies, very like rural, like farmland, and like people who think they're fucking cowboys. And then like
in Maryland,
really?
All right, continue.
And then like the city. So it's like I grew up more in like the rich yuppie part. Like we were like comfortably upper middle.
Yeah.
And then but I grew up on like the cusp of like rural Maryland. Like go past my house, literally a street down, farms for like days. Like I grew up an hour south of Pennsylvania. It's like my view of Baltimore is just like going to Ravens games, going to bars, going to Orioles games, like going to the Capitol Grill there. So like my view of Baltimore is like much different from other people's view of Baltimore, where it's like,
what is this snapshot? I'm looking for like a memory.
I have a snapshot. Last time I was back in Boston, or back at home on the South Shore, I went to a 7-Eleven at 7 a.m. to go get the newspaper, and I went in. And the woman who was running the register there, her name was Patty, and she's this old like woman from Southie. And at the you guys know Bob Kraft, owner of the Patriots. He just got remarried to like this like bombshell blonde woman who's also like a doctor or whatever, but she's like in her 30s or something, and you know he's like geriatric.
Yeah.
And I walk in, I was like, "Hey, how you doing?" She goes, "Yeah, you see front page of the paper today?" And she throws me, and it's Bob Kraft, and she was like, "How much Viagra you think that guy needs to get up, huh? how much hand pumps you think he needs?" And I was like, "What are you talking about with hand
that's pretty
pumps?"
cool.
And she was like,
"That's trash."
And then she told me, she's smoking inside of the 7-Eleven.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, "Is this against the rules?" And she was like, "No one's coming in here at 7."
Holy
I tell you what,
shit.
no, she goes, "Later today, I'm gonna watch the Pats game with my parrot, and we're gonna have a good time, drink some beers." And I was like, the things that parrot probably says to
my
mimic
God,
her. And I was like, what
with a parrot.
It was freezing. The wind was blowing in my face on the walk there. I was miserable. It was super bright in the morning. And this woman talked at a decibel that would make your ears bleed. In just this like nails against the chalkboard accent.
Beautiful.
And that's a wake up in Massachusetts. So that's my snapshot for you.
Do you have anything like that where it's like, damn, this is
Mine's more sad.
Okay. I'm good for sad.
We were walking back to like a parking garage after a Ravens game. Like I was probably like 7. My brother was maybe 8, and we're walking down the street, and we're walking past like this guy sitting on a bench, and there's like, I don't remember if it was a suitcase or like a bag, but there's like shit on the ground next to it. And my brother almost steps on something, and my mom pulls him over. And I go, "What was that?" And she goes, "Nothing." And then my brother leaned over and told me, he was like, "That was a syringe." There was just a guy like openly doing heroin in the park.
Yeah, but,
and like my brother like almost just stepped on a syringe.
Is that, I mean, I feel like that happens.
We have a really big heroin problem too in Massachusetts. In high school, we had to watch a documentary about the opioid crisis in Cape Cod. because
I think I've seen that.
I just did a video about how like awful Cape Cod is during the winter.
Yeah. Eugene Merman has a really funny joke about it. Or no, it's Big J Ogerson where he's like, yeah, I love that because it's just guys being like, yeah, I could have played for the Sox, but I was banging junk into my ass.
Yeah. Doctor gave me so much oxy. I was zooted onto another planet, bro. Yeah, and that's like we have it's actually a really bad heroin problem in the Cape. Fentanyl is big there too.
Yeah. I'll give you a fucking knock against Baltimore. I'm from there. And I tried to dress.
You're trash.
I used to dress Southern because a girl that I used to date who broke up with me told me she likes Southern boys.
Well, but what does dressing Southern look like?
Wore a camo hat, a flannel, jeans.
Did you really?
Tins. Yeah.
What era of Noah is this?
This was freshman year of high school.
Wow.
Damn.
How D? That's crazy.
The flannel hat said Ford across it.
I will say that
and her best friend who was at the basketball game I was going to, she saw because I was friends with her best friend. She was like, "You dressing like that because told you she likes that?" I was like, "No." Meanwhile, I was absolutely.
That's another going back to like men for a moment. That's such like a
Can we cut her name out of that? That was her real name.
Yeah.
Can we cut her name out in post?
That's such a masculine experience, is to just have like such like a hard exterior, and then a girl will be like, "Oh, I really like those pants," and you'd be like, "Thanks," and then you wear those pants for the next 4 months.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, what do you think of these? This is cool pants.
Yeah. These are just like the pants you were talking about.
Yeah, it's just kind of I don't know.
All right, is there any closing statements you have about either side? I feel
we won one Super Bowl with like an above average quarterback and started saying that he was elite.
That's true.
There's a whole breed of mafia called the Irish Mafia, and it came out of one slice of Massachusetts.
There is an entire show dedicated to how Baltimore is crime-ridden.
All right, well, we're going to go quick fire. We're going to go quick fire. First person to not come up with something loses.
Boston was... there are a bunch of exposés about Boston a few years ago about how racist the city was, and no one said anything. They just kind of went,
That's good. Noah?
Have you seen our flag?
Your flag sucks.
Yeah.
The flag is bad.
Do you even know what Massachusetts flag looks like?
I don't.
That's like ours is so fucking gaudy that everybody knows what ours looks like.
Yeah, but that's like charming.
We put it on everything.
It's not charming.
Which state has
trash.
Here's one. Which state has the worst license plate? Let's see if I can find the Massachusetts license plate.
No, not now. You guys are doing trash PKs for your state.
What else? Whitey Bulger is from Massachusetts.
All right.
I just said how our state has a whole show dedicated to how it's crime-ridden.
We've had movies about that. The Town, The Departed.
Yeah, but The Wire,
Mystic River.
I'd say The Wire holds about as much clout as those movies do as well. I think I'm gonna give it to Mass so far, unless you have any sort of like
believe in yourself.
Hold on,
you got one Hail Mary. Is there?
Let me cook something up.
Is there? I'm thinking of like, is there anything where you have like, I already said the snapshot, but like something that like defines what is wrong with the state.
Oh, every single mayor we've elected has had to retire because they are corrupt.
Okay, dude. Oh my God.
Really?
Yeah.
Seriously?
At least in my
mayor
lifetime
of Baltimore?
I do not remember a single mayor of Baltimore that has retired like in good name.
That's really good. I just remember at the beginning of the pandemic, the mayor of Baltimore at like the start was just like, he was pleading everyone to stop shooting each other.
Yeah.
For now.
Yeah.
It was just like, if we can just not kill each other right now.
There was they said there was signs posted around the city. I saw them. It said, please do not shoot each other. I think it was like for the next 48 or 72 hours. There were fucking 2 bodies found the next day.
Damn. All right. I think...
Doesn't Maryland like Larry Hogan though?
Oh yeah. Larry Hogan's pretty cool. Yeah. We like Larry Hogan. Governor Hogan.
Yeah, Massachusetts. We liked Charlie Baker too.
Yeah, he governed through cancer. That is one good. Like he governed like.
Shouts out to our governors.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm actually torn. That was a really good. That was a good Hail Mary.
Really good. Yeah,
that was a really good Hail Mary. I'll leave it. I'll let the audience, the 40 people who
Vote.
watch it.
I will
And
say
the-
nothing
and the-
will make Massachusetts more happy. Here's the thing. Nothing will make people from Massachusetts more happy than being named a worse state, but also nothing will make people from Maryland more happy than being recognized in this podcast. So
That's
That's
all
true.
right.
There's
But we
that.
will, if people say we're the worst, they'll be like, no,
we're not the
not what we
worst.
got. We have fucking Joe Flacco and Ray Lewis.
We had Joe Flacco.
Lamar is the answer. He's the answer to all our problems.
These really are two states.
Yeah, imagine hearing that. Like, I'd rather hear a Boston accent being like, nah, we're the best. Than hearing a Maryland accent be like, no, dude, we never fucking lose.
Yeah,
Like,
these
which accent would you rather hear yelling in your ear that they're the
I don't
best?
know.
Ooh, yelling in your ear?
Yeah,
I would rather hear a
Kid, we
Boston
are the
accent in my ear
best.
than hear, dude, we're the fucking best, dude.
We are two states that attract so many top tier athletes, but never produce athletes on our own.
Yeah.
You never hear about an athlete
oh.
from Maryland or from
Known
Boston.
as Maryland's a lacrosse powerhouse state.
Oh.
That's pretty bad.
Oh, actually,
All right,
you might want
Maryland,
to.
I give it. Holy.
Yeah.
You might want to give him that. That's pretty
Yeah,
bad.
and
That
I went to a
fucking-
lacrosse powerhouse high school and
Oh,
was proud of
Jesus.
it.
As a rugby player,
You got a lacrosse
I fucking,
powerhouse face too,
Yeah.
dude.
I hate lacrosse with a
Yeah.
fucking. I think you guys suck so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And we're like proud of it. We're like, yeah, dude, fucking boys Latin's gonna beat the brakes off St. Paul's.
God, I fucking hate
Oh
that.
yeah, that's pretty bad. That's
All
pretty
right,
bad.
yeah, Maryland fucking sucks.
Yeah,
I fucking
Maryland
hate
does
that
suck.
shit.
Damn.
Boys Latin, we've won the national championship in
Of
lacrosse
course it was
multiple
boys
times.
Latin.
Oh,
That's the
God.
worst
I
school.
can't
Any
keep hearing
boys
about
Latin
this.
school? Oh,
Yeah.
disgusting.
Terrible.
Awful.
We'll wrap it up there. Plugs. Noah, what do you got going on?
I'm starting a new podcast tomorrow with the
Wow.
lovely Ethan Mead.
Is
It's called-
it? Are you guys recording tomorrow?
Recording tomorrow. It's called
Hell yeah.
Soda and Movies.
Mm.
We review different types of soda and talk about movies we hate.
Ooh.
And
listened to
social
that.
media.
Noah_Snyder on Instagram.
Cool. Dan.
I work for a company called MorningBrew.
Yes, you do.
And you should follow them on social media and watch our YouTube videos. And I also have my own personal Instagram and Twitter and TikTok. And you can follow me at DH Toomey.
Cool.
TOOMEY.
This has been Common Enemies. I love you. Good night.
Love you guys.
Love you.